Hey, thanks for hanging out. In this video, I'm going to review this Makita belt sander. Let's get after it. This belt sander I bought with my own money, so this is not sponsored or supported in any way by Makita or the store that sold it to me. This is a Makita MT Series M9400G 4-inch or 100mm belt sander. I'm going to go through unboxing it, having a look at what's included. I've got a nice big slab of timber here to sand, which is the reason why I bought it, and I'll explain a few reasons why I thought of this choice as opposed to some of the others that were out there on the market as well, and hopefully that helps you out. Before we unbox it and take a look, the reason why I bought this one and not its big brother, which is about almost 3 times the cost of this one, is really down to how much I'm going to use it and what I think I'm going to get for my money. So the larger one would have been much more suited if I was a semi-professional, professional carpenter or cabinet maker and I was using it over and over and over again week after week. This job that I've got is a decent sized slab of timber that I need to sand down, and I might have another project or 2 or 3 that I could use this for. So I really couldn't justify spending the extra money on something that I might use once or twice or 3 times that is far beyond what I'm ever going to need it for. So that was one of the reasons why I chose this one. The second reason is that although it's their MT series, which is more their entry-level model, this is a Makita tool, and I've used Makita a lot. I like their tools, and so with the price point that this was, I thought that this was going to be a good choice. And of course I did a little bit of research online beforehand, and the reviews for this came up quite good. The belt sander that I have now is a 3-inch old Hitachi belt sander, which has done an amazing job for what I've needed it for. It's probably just getting a little bit out of alignment. It doesn't quite sit as flat on the work surface as I would like. This is not an important piece, but a piece that I would like to try to make look quite nice, and so I thought the investment in a new sander, a larger sander that might have a larger platen and sit a little bit flatter would be the go. So with that, let's unbox it and have a look at what we've got. A little bit of paperwork. We've got the dust bag. Got this bracket which comes with it, which I like, and I like the feature. I don't know how much I'm going to use it, but you can screw this into the handle that's on top of the sander, and then you can mount it upside down and turn it into a bench sander. I do have some rough sawn timber that I want to just skim the surface of with the sander, just to be able to take the dust and any dirt off before I put it through my thicknesser, and this could be a good option, so I might try that out and see how that goes. And then here we have the sander itself. It's quite a large unit. It's noticeably heavier than the old Hitachi that I've been using up until now, and already I can feel when I get a nice flat spot on the timber here that larger platen is already feeling like it's going to sit nice and flat on this timber as I'm going to be moving it around. So it's got a nice large surface area all the way from here to here, nice and wide. I think that's going to do an excellent job. Changing the belt's quite easy. It's got a nice lever here which is quite easy to open, and then the belt just slips off. Pop the belt back on, let that snap back in place, and then there's a screw here that you use to be able to adjust the tracking of the belt, which we'll show you shortly. A handle to be able to help grip it, and it's got a button to be able to hold the trigger on to help with fatigue as you're using it. So all in all, first impressions straight out of the box are quite good. I like the size, I like the weight. It feels like a decent sized machine. The power rating on this is about 850 watts, which is a little bit less than its bigger brother, but certainly well within the range of what you can buy through some of your big box stores and other places like that. So so far so good. First impressions quite good. The dust bag will attach to here. I've got a vacuum system as well, so if I'll try that as well and see how that goes. I'll attach the vacuum hose to that. Certainly if it was in the bench mount position, you would definitely attach a vacuum hose to here to be able to help take the dust away. And the only other thing left in the box is a spare bit of felt that goes onto the platen at the bottom as well. So all in all, first impressions, really good. This is the belt that I want to put on to start with, so we're just going to get that installed to show you how to do that. So the first thing to do is just to release this lever, which releases the tension on the pulleys. Make sure this is going the right direction, which it is now, and just slide this on. So the first thing I notice is that the plastic is very close to the back drive wheel here, so I think that that's going to potentially wear away as we just get this up and running and tracking right. So once that belt's in, we put that in place like so, and then we use this knob to track the belt. Okay, so got that on, that's in place, that's tracking nice and straight now. I think it's time to see how it starts to cut. So we've got the belt sander out of the box. First impressions are quite good. The belt had no problem with that tight area at the back with the housing. That was only a bit of plastic, so it would come off quite quickly anyway. So the belt's tracking nice and straight now. We've got the dust bag on, and we've got this slab of timber ready to do a test cut on. So let's do that and see how it performs. So my first impressions so far are quite good. This is sitting nice, feels nice and flat on the surface that I'm sanding. It doesn't feel like that I have to put a lot of pressure on the sander. It's heavy enough to be able to do the work that it needs to just with its own weight. So I'm really just guiding it at the moment. It sounds quieter than my old Ryobi. I said Hitachi before, it's actually an old Ryobi belt sander. I think if I was doing this much more often, I can already see that the power is about the limit of what I'm doing at the moment. If I wanted to try to be more aggressive, I really think that would be pushing this tool in the spec that it is. The power of this is about 850 watts. Its big brother's about 1300 watts, so it's a lot beefier engine in the larger model. But for what I'm doing, I've got no rush. I'm just going to take my time, let it do the job. I'll finish this slab, we'll come back and we'll have another chat about it, and I'll give you my final thoughts. The overall impression of the sander was very good. I think that this was, the work that I was doing was the limit of the power of the sander. So I took it nice and easy. I let the machine do most of the work. I applied very little pressure down on the front to be able to cut into the timber more. If I needed to get a more aggressive cut, well then I changed the paper out to be able to get the dull paper out and get a fresh new paper in. That being said, it did great for this piece of timber. It felt nice and flat on the surface. I didn't feel as though that I needed to find a sweet spot for it to sit. It sat very, very nicely. I was very comfortable with that. I would definitely recommend using the trigger switch here just to be able to hold the trigger on. It's a heavy machine, it's got quite a bit of power, so it pulls quite a lot on your arm when you're using it, so it was much more comfortable just to be able to hold the grip here, which is a really comfortable grip, and use the trigger button to be able to hold the trigger in. Overall, I thought it did a great job. I really do think that if you were going to do something much larger, or you really needed to be a lot more aggressive with it, then this is probably not the machine for you. You'd probably want to look at the big brother of this, which I think is the 9403, but I'll put a note down below just to let you know what that is. Thank you for watching. I hope those thoughts and that demonstration may have helped you decide whether this is going to be the right tool for you, or whether you might need to consider a different tool. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those below. And remember, life's short, so get after it.